Hello, everyone. NFL 5, Joseph Ramirez here. Um, Back with another Deck Tech profile. Been a little while since we dived into this or dove into this. Ooh, talking. But I wanted to bring to you, if you haven't heard, 2021 set has released. Getting product in hand is a little scarce, so I figured I would let you guys see some ideas that I have going around currently. This is a fun little idea. It's got some synergy, so to speak, right out the box. If you were to pick up the set and um, uh, you get, or even look at some of the cards in the set, you're like, oh, okay, well, I can literally help you. It helps you to deck build specifically. This particular set came out with a lot of synergy cards, and those synergy cards kind of put a deck restriction on how to build your deck, so that new and older players can find ways. I mean, for newer players, it kind of like gives you a pathway to really say, here is the deck I want to build. For advanced players, it's thinking outside the box of looking at one synergy card. One synergy card can be built several different ways, just like the one I'm about to show you. I'm going to show you this first iteration that I put together for this. And if you can tell on the title of this particular video, it's going to be the most expensive NFL 5 deck. And I only say that because of the rarity, right? The epics, the legendaries, those things that you see are huge, right? They're kind of costly, or let's say costly, or things like that. But if you guys haven't figured it out yet, it's Synergy Pro Bowl Squad. So Synergy Pro Bowl Squad. This particular Synergy is the epic, is an epic in the set. It says Synergy's active. So essentially, it's always active. You don't have to have any type of restrictions. You don't have to have a certain specific thing out. It's just active. It says at the start of each possession, you may search your action deck for a superstar card and attach it. While all of your players have superstar cards attached, your successful plays gain an additional 10 yards, and your opponent gains successful plays gain additional 10 fewer yards. So it's a plus 10 to your side, a minus 10 to their side on everything, as long as you have a superstar attached. It has to have all superstars attached. So what this means is 10 superstars have to be attached on offense and defense. So you have to have all of them attached to get the bonus. Synergy is always active, but you don't get the bonus effect until then. So how do we get there? There's several ways that you can do this, and I'll get into the other way right now. This is the idea that I kind of come up with here for right now. On offense, we go with 2021 Epic Tom Brady. It's just a strong effect. It gives you an outwork, increase or decrease the play strength or the catch range by up to 2, exhaust only during on-field adjustment. So a great all-around card to help you start getting your plays successful. So there's Tom Brady. I'm going with 2020 Christian McCaffrey. Run or receive, gains an additional 10 yards for each power-up attached to him. So I'm going the power-up route. You can go 2021 Christian McCaffrey, which if there's a gridiron card on the field, he gains plus yards. And so there's the other route of this deck would be gridiron. So you can go power-ups, you can go gridiron. And, the gridiron way is basically confined to the one set. So if you just wanted to pick up 2021 and roll with a deck like that, you can actually go with that particular deck. I went with 2020 Devontae Adams. Receive, gain additional 15 yards. Its attacker does not have a power-up. In my opinion, non-superstar, this is the better of the Devontae Adams. The other Devontae Adams in 2021 set, I don't think is as good. So you could still do that. And he's a rare, so it's a little less on the costly side. Next up is 2020 Travis Kelsey. So he is exhaust, pass gains an additional 15 yards if you have a wide receiver and a running back on the field. And this player is designated to receive the ball on this play and exhaust during on-field adjustments. So we do have Christian McCaffrey and Devontae Adams, a running back and wide receiver, so it fits Travis Kelsey's bill to gain an extra 15 yards, and then he has to be designated. So 2 epics, 2 legendaries, and then of course the last one is Patrick Mahomes. I chose to go 2020 Patrick Mahomes. You can definitely do 2021 Patrick Mahomes, which I really wanted to do. Also another epic, but with the product being short printed and getting ready to get another produced run, I just don't have a lot of those particular cards. So I decided to just stick with this Patrick Mahomes. Of course, the epic one's just as good. I mean, you look at these and you got 3 legendaries, 2 epics, or 3 epics, 2 legendaries on offense. So can definitely, not look very budget on that end. I definitely went budget on the defensive side of things, I guess you can say. I didn't go a lot of 2021, which is, again, something that you definitely can do. So like this deck can be built several different ways. And, I'm looking at, like I said, the first iteration of this particular deck. And I went power-ups mainly instead of the gridiron. So in defense, we got 2019 Joey Bosa, who is a legendary. Says run middle, run right. Play gains 15 yards on attack, 15 less yards on a tackle. 2019 Khalil Mack, tackle, play gains 10 fewer yards. 2020 Aaron Donald, cancel the abilities of the runner or receiver on a tackle, just flat tackles. Harrison Smith, tackle, play gains 15 fewer yards, legendary 2019. So all these are just tackle abilities, run middle, run right, pass, and then on anything. The final one that I decided to play was Jalen Ramsey, and there's no question about it. 2021 Jalen Ramsey is by far the better of the ones. I did want to play the other Jalen Ramsey just so that he was a different player, a different team, and then go in superstar mode with a different team. I thought that was kind of funny. But tackle, pass, gains, play gains 20 fewer yards if your opponent has at least one exhausted player. So you can't do it on first down, but sequential downs, if they have one guy exhausted, then you can definitely get that. Or if you want to exhaust turn 1 and then play him, that's excellent too. So definitely, the better of the Jalen Ramsey ones that are available. Now in the action deck, look at, you have to dedicate 10. You have to dedicate 10 to your superstars. So in this particular instance, I kept it as close to 20. I know the new rule is minimum 20 instead of just straight 20. But I wanted to do it on purpose because here's the thing. You want to get your superstars as fast as possible. So the least amount of cards in the action deck, the more that you'll draw them, the more that you can play them. Superstar cards can only be played at the start of down, start of possession, or at the end of the play. And so you really want to, turbo them out, so to speak. So let's say you start on offense. If you start on offense, I would start with this and put Pat on the bench because at the start of each possession, you get to search for a superstar. So you'd go search your superstar, Tom Brady. Then you would run your play, and at the end of the play, you can exhaust Tom Brady to go search out another one of your superstars. So The key thing about superstars also is that you can't actually play them on the bench. They have to be active in play. So in this case, you can go get Devontae Adams, play Devontae Adams. Now we have two superstars, and at the end of the play, you draw a play, draw an action. So if you can draw Kelsey or McCaffrey, you can play it, and then you are strictly one on two cards on offense from getting all of them on the field. And so that's your initial setup. That's kind of how it looks. And then, of course, I guess I'll go over these guys here real quick that you'll see the superstar ability. Tom Brady. Superstar Tom Brady says, exhaust, search your deck for a card, reveal it, put it in your hand, exhaust only at the end of the play. He doesn't specify which deck. You can do action or play deck. He doesn't say search and then discard. So you just add a card. You just get any card you want. And in this case, you want to, if you're trying to turbo out a superstar, you got it. You go search your superstars. After that's done, he can go get you whatever you want in the action deck, play deck, whatever. If you want your unique play, or if you want to actually go and get your power ups, your gridiron cards, an action card, he can go get it, and it's an added card. He just better than Tom Brady 2019, better than Luke Kuechly. A lot of those other guys, he just straight goes and gets anything you want. And you don't have to discard at the end of the play. Superstar Devontae Adams says receive, gain 20 yards, just straight up. The most rapid yard gain in the game, just raw yardage, receive on a blink receive. Travis Kelsey, receive. If the play gains fewer than 25 yards, it gains 25 yards instead. And at the end of the play, you can ready another player. So this helps with Tom Brady. If Tom Brady, you go get this guy, then he can exhaust Tom Brady, go get you another superstar. What's really cool about Travis Kelsey is that in play testing, if you go through and get you some like 10 yards or 5 yards or something like that before negatives, he just makes it 25. So it does help a lot. I didn't give this guy enough credit initially because I was like, oh, I mean, it has to be lower than 25 yards, but you just straight raw gain 25 yards. So Kelsey's really, really strong in that regard. Next up, we have CMC, Christian McCaffrey, run or receive, gain an additional 15 yards. So he's just straight 15 yards on a run or receive. Another solid player. Patrick Mahomes, the second. This is actually really good with Travis Kelsey, as we were talking about before. So he says exhaust, choose run, reverse, or play action pass X. Your play becomes the current play. That becomes the current play, and X is 5 times the play strength, and it basically resolves yardage like a run, exhaust only during on-field adjustments. So if you were to exhaust and say, I'm going to go for a run reverse or play action pass, which they cannot defend against unless they have the unique play, or they audible into that particular unique play, this guy's going off. And if it's like 10 yards, it helps with Kelsey because then Kelsey can receive it and actually make it 25 yards instead of just 10 or 5 or whatever with Mahomes' ability. So pretty strong, pretty good. When you start getting these guys out, it just makes a huge difference. But it's very slow. This particular synergy deck is absolutely one of the slowest ones that I've seen in the entire set. And that's it's a good thing, it's a bad thing. I mean, you're gonna do what you can do. It's a fun deck, like I said, to play. I don't think I would see very much of it high-end competitive play because it's just too slow. But definitely a deck to play around with friends, to bring to your exhibition game and just have fun with. On defense, I know we went over the defensive players, so let's look at the superstars. Aaron Donald, tackle, run. The play gains 20 fewer yards. Harrison Smith, exhaust, increase or decrease the play strength or catch range by up to 2. Exhaust only during on-field adjustments. So like we said on Tom Brady's side, there's a superstar on defense, does the exact same thing. He is awesome. Khalil Mack, tackle, the play gains 15 fewer yards, so just raw 15 yards on any play. Jalen Ramsey, tackle on a pass, gains 20 fewer yards. And then Joey Bosa. This guy's very unique. Exhaust, choose a 3 range number, determine grit. If it's within the chosen range, the play is unsuccessful and loses 20 yards instead of yards gained or lost in the play. Exhaust only during on-field adjustments. He's probably by far my favorite. Definitely a very, very strong card. If you can really guess the grit, but it's a 3 grit range, so 30% for you to get that and make the play unsuccessful. What this means is if you go for a, that your opponent goes for a long bomb and it's successful and you have no way to stop it, you can just, I'm going to exhaust Joey Bosa, pick my 3 grit range, and then say, all right, if you get it, it makes the play unsuccessful, and then they just straight lose 20 yards. I've seen a raw safety with this. Pushed my opponent was at the 20. I was able to then do this ability, called it right, get a safety, 20-yard loss. So that was very exciting. This new set's definitely adding a lot of elements that make some pretty cool things happen. So that's the 10 superstars, of course, in the game. So if you're going to run the superstar deck, it has to be those 10 players right now. But the non-superstar players, you do have some options. Tom Brady has 2019, 2020, 2021. So 3 options there. A couple of these guys have 2 options or 3 options. So it's definitely a lot of fun that you can play with. For the rest of the action deck, I did the power up package. So of course, double adrenaline, double acclimatize. So you can turn off weather effects. And then of course, this all helps Christian McCaffrey, legend from 2020, to just gain extra yards. Untouchable. The attached player is unaffected by non-gridiron effects if your opponent controls. So kind of helps you with, fatigue and exhaust and all those other effects that try to like mess with your board. Even things like, I have to double check to see if it's unaffected by non-gridiron effects controlled by your opponent. So this would stop Darius Leonard. So tap down, this guy's going to receive. You can't switch it because he's unaffected. But I'll double check and get clarification on that because that's something to wonder. And then of course locked in. So locked in, untouchable, acclimatize, adrenaline. Those are my 8 power-ups. Don't think you need more than that. You're not trying to Voltron up Christian McCaffrey. That's not the idea. All these particular power-ups go well with the superstars, so it helps. Even if you go to superstar mode, no big deal. Of course, staples, outwork, outperformed, not this Sunday. Kind of need those at this point, most specific decks. Now here's where the deck gets different, right? So we go sideline adjustment, draw 2 action cards, put one on top, the other, or put one in your hand, the other on the bottom. We're searching for those superstar cards. We want to try to get them as fast as possible. This is prior to selecting play, and we don't need to not draw an action card at the end of the turn. So it replaces itself with a superstar card essentially, and then end of turn, play the superstar, and then draw a card back up. So very, very good. One card that doesn't do that is Situational Recall. Now, Situational Recall, search your action deck for a superstar card or gridiron card, reveal it, put it in your hand. Don't draw at the end of down. So this lets you go get the superstar, but then you'd have to wait, and then in the following turn, then you can play the superstar unless you want to go down 1 action. That's perfectly fine. You can do that. That's why it's situational. That's why it's Situational Recall. Pretty good card. Again, in the gridiron version of this, it searches for a superstar or a gridiron card, so you can get the gridiron card too. Last card is reload. And the reason why I put the reload in the deck is there are already there's action cards and there's players that actually will actually remove a superstar from the field, put it in the graveyard. So you want to be able to reload it, put it back in, so you can go search with Tom Brady, put it back on the field so you get your synergy bonus with that. Very, very late game. It's very, very slow. It's definitely a fun deck to play around. I definitely recommend if you get your hands on the set or print some out, that you would try that deck, play it. Synergy Pro Bowl Squad is definitely a lot of fun. The other Synergy Pro Bowl Squad with gridiron cards, you definitely run the 2021 Travis Kelsey. It's 5 yards for each gridiron card. I've actually kind of built and messed with that a little bit, and I was able to get Travis Kelsey to like 25 yards additional with gridiron cards on the table. So they do count your opponent's gridiron cards, your gridiron cards, so they stack. So it kind of can get steamrolling up a bit. Also, another guy that I saw do really well with that is Austin Eckler. Great. Like he was gaining 20 yards a run. It's like, wow, this is pretty good. So don't sleep on that. The gridiron cards are definitely very, very good. Once you play them, they stay in play. So there's a lot of, if you look at, of course, your stadiums and your weather will stay in play until another one is played. However, the events, the gridiron events, those are going to stay. So those ones will stay while you're, so environment, event, those ones stay on the field until you trigger them. Most of them say, at the end of turn, pop this, do this. It says you may, so it doesn't actually necessarily, you can use them for whenever you want, as long as they don't get blown up by an effect. So you have environments and events that will stay in play, stadiums and weather that'll stay in play until another one's played. If another one's played, guys, it doesn't really affect you a whole lot because it's still a gridiron card on the field for things like Travis Kelsey. So you get that extra bonus. But next time I come to you guys, I'll try and look at the Pro Bowl squad for gridiron cards and kind of give you an idea of that. I might not, just because, of course, the decks are pretty much the same, pretty similar. So not a whole lot that I will be able to change. Of course, a few cards here and there, but if you guys want to see it, let me know. Comment section below that you'd want to see that, and I'll put it together. I do have a lot of other decks that I'm working on, looking at, just kind of getting an idea of play testing and things like that. And I really have been doing a lot of play testing, not only in person or whatever, but virtually as well. Very, very excited about that. And so it's a lot of fun. It's just being able to get the game out more, play a lot more people. Definitely a lot of fun. So definitely very excited to actually get product in my hand for the new set. I know a lot of us are waiting and trying to get that new set available. So once it's available, we can start cracking some open. Maybe I'll do some box openings. We can kind of see that, maybe see some more gameplay videos and footage. So until next time, guys, you guys have a good one. Stay safe.